Greetings one and all, and welcome to Zayfard Plays Stellaris. So today, this episode is going to be my first full episode. I've just spent about a half hour setting up my first race. Well, my first race for this channel. I've actually created a couple more in my test playthroughs. One of whom might be turning up in this series, might not, I don't know. I actually generally don't know, I put it on random. You guys know what I'm like with my random setups. And in the first episode, I'm probably going to call it episode 0. Don't hold me on that, I might change my mind between now and when I actually upload it. This is what I've set up, so if you're interested, you know, how I've thought this through, how my mind works on this, please by all means do go check it out. But if not, here's the quick shortcut on it. We are a militaristic, so really good at attacking people, lots of power, our rivalry gains and extra influences, and we're happier with war. And we're fanatical materialists, so this is massive science. We are a sedentary race, however, called the Silen. Yes, no, this is not that other copyright name, race name. We're something different, honest. This has nothing to do with Zayfard being really bad at naming things. How I got my YouTube name as well. But we are rapid breeders, so our species grows a lot quicker on the worlds. And we are intelligent. Which means we have +10 output to engineering, physics and science society research, which is fantastic as it goes along with our extra 10% for being fanatic materialists. We do have an avian design ship where we have put on nuclear missiles which we use to wipe out the other people on our planet. That's how it worked, we used missiles. High-tech missiles against their brawn and brutalness with their big axes. Yeah, they were physically stronger than us, we just really intelligent. See, I'm already creating a backstory for this race, and please, you know, any lore you want to put in the comments, I'd love to hear that stuff. And we use wormhole travel. So, final setup. We'll go for a medium star system, only 600 different stars, all with who knows how many different things on it. I'm going to go for a spiral galaxy, so 2 arms. I wish I could actually have random on that. I'd love to have random on that. We're going to have a total of 17 empires, AI empires, all of whom are going to be advanced. I think that means they start off with an unfair advantage over us with more tech. Not 100% sure on that, but we'll find. Oh, here we go. This controls how many of the regular AI empires will start with an initial advantage in resources, technology and population. Okay, they get no other benefits, but they do get more of those. This doesn't affect fallen empires. I know those things exist. I know fallen empires exist in this game. There ends my knowledge of them. I'm going to have normal difficulty to start with because we saw how long it took me to get good at Galaxy on this channel. So let's start off with things at normal. Now this I like. You can say which FTL methods are allowed. You can either say you could have any, or everyone uses warp, or everyone uses hyperdrive, or everyone uses wormhole. Now I do plan to do a hyperdrive only run at some point, because that sounds cool to me. However, we'll start off with any, and I'm not going to do Iron Man mode. Basically this means you can't go back on saves. Now I'll be doing what's known as Bronze Man, in that I will be doing Iron Man style, but because my recordings do sometimes fail, I'm going to have I'm going to do this so I can go back and reload saves if I need to, if something goes wrong in the recording. And that's the only time I'm going to reload, only time I'm going to ever use saves, is when something goes wrong on the recording. This is just for my convenience, well, just to help the series go better so you guys don't miss anything. That's the only time I'll use anything other than Iron Man. So, without further ado, let's create the new world. And considering how much it's creating, that was insanely quick. So, the Avian Techno Confederacy. We're a science dictatorate, which gives us more options. Our current ruler is Plume of Magenta. We are the Silent species. In the eons since the first primitive Silent communities took shape in the dense jungles of Yavis Prime, our civilization has spread and prospered. Through scientific progress, we have managed to stamp out the superstitions that ruled the minds of our ancestors. As reason and rational thought spread amongst our people, the inefficient nation states that we had won. Put your teeth in, Zayfard. state that we had until then organised ourselves into were disbanded, and a council of our most accomplished scientists were gathered to rule in their stead. Now, after the successful creation of artificial subspace wormholes, the finest minds of the Avian Techno-Confederacy have finished construction of the first wormhole station at the edge of our system. The stars themselves are finally within our grasps. Now this I love. This description changes depending on what kind of world you have and what kind of government and ethics traits you have. So every time you play this description is created for your race. That is really cool. They put so much effort into this.
Greetings, Director. I am Veer, a prototype synthetic intelligence developed by the finest minds of our civilization to serve as your advisor. I shall endeavor to perform my duties with the utmost efficiency.
I like the advisor. Now, I have done a run with full tutorial. Now, I've not learned everything. But one of the things it does, it creates missions. Now, I don't want to do this for this run through. I want to have more freedom. But I am still new, so I could use some advice, so give me tips.
I will provide tips, explaining only basic functions and tools as you explore them.
Thank you, Veer. That's good to know. So, first things first. This is real time. This is a real-time strategy game. You can pause it with no issue. This is why I just remind myself how I move everything. And those who are watching my last Galiciv series, which is still ongoing at this point, I hope. I've got my timings right, it's still going on. I've been having a lot of problems with rotating the map, and there's a reason for that. I've been playing a lot of Stellaris in the build-up between the two recording sessions, just before I went ill. And in Stellaris you move the map around with middle mouse, and you change the orientation with the left mouse. For some reason, changing the orientation in this game does not bother me. But yeah, this is a nice real-time strategy game. So you can see here, this is our home system. This is the system of Yaris. And we are on Yaris Prime. Now, first thing we'll see is these three symbols. They're the game telling me you got research to do. Which at the moment's okay, we've got +5 research on everything. And then 20% bonus.
The technology screen is where we will be directing our research efforts. Technologies are categorized into 3 different fields, with each field typically having 3 available research options.
Thank you, Veer. Now, that's not strictly true. Because of the government type we have an extra research type. So what happens, this game has no tech tree. At all. Well, it sort of does. What you actually have is basically a deck of cards. On each of these cards is a research for each field. And when they turn up, you go, I would like this one. You get to choose from 3, and then they all get shuffled back. And after you finish research, you get another 3. Or in my case, 4. Now I say it's sort of a tech tree because things like physics lab here. This will unlock other things. So there'll be quantum theory will unlock another level of research. So you can unlock Physics Labs 2, Physics Labs 3. Some of them will unlock other useful things like government types, ethics, all those sort of, well, I assume ethics. There's some which gives you the ability to get new traits for your species, for your biological traits. I have no idea how that works, I just know it exists. So they come up at random, and there are rare ones, which you probably want to grab because they do not come around very often. So let's start. The other thing to, of course, note here is we have Feathers of Ivory, Claws of Red, Plume of Cyan. And these are all leaders. So you'll see they have ages. So 30, 41 and 31. And they all have advantages. So with science, with the scientists, or more accurately the researchers, they'll have a research type which they're really good at. And you'll see this symbol, it corresponds with symbols down here. So they'll give an extra 10% research speed to any of the ones which is good for them. So for example, if I was to do the survey speed, which I'm not going to, it's a really good one, because I'm good at Voidcraft, this will be a 10% faster. Was it 10%? Yeah. You've also got Solar Power Network, which is pretty good. That means you get extra energy from your star bases when you build it. Physics Lab, which gets us more physics. But this one, this is the gem. Increases our science speed by a further 5%. which of course we're going for. Science is good. And that's going to take us going to take us 2 years. Because everything is measured in real time. That's pretty cool, but really quite fast. Next, our society research. We have 4 availables. We can have a colony ship, so we can go out to other worlds and colonize them. And they will all have a habitability level, which will affect how happy your species can be. I don't quite get what happiness does, but I'm sure I'll find that out as I go along. Or we can get extra influence. Or we increase the lifespan of our leaders, which is really good, by 10 years, and increase food by 10%. Or increase the amount of ships we can have. Now, yeah, we have a certain amount of ships we can have. At the moment it's 12, and that increases as we have more spaceports. And I think from our population, that's what it seems to be saying. And when we have more, exceeding your naval capacity will cause your ships to have an increased maintenance cost. So yeah, it means we'll have to pay more to keep our ships going. So right now we can have 12 ships without an impact on us. But this will give us an extra 10%. At this stage, not so great, but later in the game, really good. So let's see, you have you're just resilient. You have an extra 25 years to your lifespan. Fantastic. I'm going to start with colony ships. It's going to take us 71 months. But it will enable us to go to new worlds, which is vital in any 4X game. So that's what we're doing. And finally, engineering. So we have, none of these are automatically striking me as better options. So we have several options here. First of all, are any of these the same type as this? Oh, you just have extra 10% research speed. Fantastic, you're brilliant. Actually, you know what? I might change these 2 guys around because this is a really important research. You know, extra research speed is really important. So I have several options here. I can have plus 5% army damage and minerals. So by wearing in a powered exoskeleton suit, the suit augments the user's strength and speed. Pretty cool. Engineering facility, which will give us extra engineering research wherever we build them on the planets. Ion thrusters, which will make our ships faster. Or defense platforms, so we can actually build defense ships. This gives us the ability, so when people come to attack our systems, which they will eventually, I have no doubt, they don't just have to deal with our fleets, they have to deal with space stations. It's really cool, you can actually design your ships yourself. It's a really cool system. I'm torn on this actually. Now I'm going to go iron thrusters because faster is good. That's only 43 months away. Excellent, we'll close that. Let's see, I do want to change this around.
The government screen presents us with information regarding our empire and its government. Here we can see our ruler and any related effects.
Excellent, so yeah, this is our ruler. Director Plume of Magenta, he's aged 44. And in 40 to 50 years, he'll have to step down and somebody new will take over. Maybe, we'll have an election.
The Budget tab tallies our empire's monthly income and expenses in energy credits. Here we can also track a variety of effects that influence our economy.
Thank you, Veer, that's really useful. Now, Veer. Mr. Veer, please explain policies to me.
The Policies tab covers government policies, as well as empire-wide edicts, practices that can be enforced by spending some of our influence.
Okay. There are often a few stances to take on any given policy. So policies, we can go war economy. We can have static, which is nothing. Semi-static, which will... defensive wars will reduce our war score. Okay. Dynamic. I have no idea what any of that means. Slavery, we can allow or prohibit, and that just lets us use slavery. Purge. Purge pops are unable to work and will ultimately perish, but the process will enrage them as well as any sympathizers, so we can kill off people. Orbital bombardment. So let's see. Light allows only the bombardment of identified military targets, keeping civilian casualties to a minimum. Limited allow the use of all but the heaviest of orbital ordnance, ensuring the majority of civilians will survive even if their infrastructure does not. So this is when you try and attack worlds. Just to show how much damage you can do and how quickly, and the risk to the world, or full. Allows the full use of all orbital weaponry with no regard to life on the surface. You know what, these guys I don't see as being that callous. Oh, apparently if we did change it to full, we'll not be able to change our stance on this for 10 years. Interesting. Not going to change that yet. Migration, prohibited. So, we decide where everyone goes. That's just the way it is. I'm happy with that for now. Resettlement's the same thing. Oh, this says whether we're forcibly allowed to relocate our people. I'm going to say no, as we're quite sedentary. Voting rights is elitism only. That's because of our government type. So yeah, that's just it. This only our brightest and best can do this. Leadership, primary species only for now. First contact protocol. So when we meet a new species for the first time, we can either do it aggressively or peacefully, and we will allow no hostile actions to be taken against unknown life forms, and only retaliate if we were to be attacked first. I like that idea, and we're stuck with that for 10 years now. We can also do edicts, so information quarantine. It reduces ethics diversion but slows down our research speed, and I'm not going to go through all of these because that would be quite boring. But these gives us boosts. We do all the two. Boost to engineering will cost us physics and society, etc, etc. Yeah, same with physics and society. But the boost is more than the loss. So if we were to do all three of these, we get an extra 10% in total. However, I'm not going to play around with edicts yet. I've not got much influence, which is what they cost, which is up here. So we get X amount of influence coming in, X amount going out. And we need it for certain things. So recruiting leaders, all of those cost influence. The other two are energy and minerals, which all just certain things will have a cost of either minerals or energies or both, and some will have an upkeep cost of energy normally. Okay, Veer, please explain demographics to me.
The demographics tab tracks the makeup and spread of our empire's populace.
Thank you. That told me almost nothing. Right, I have no idea what that meant then. Okay, so science is going on. So the first thing we're going to need to do...
This is our science ship, which is used to survey astronomical objects such as planets in a star system. A planet needs to be surveyed in order to make its resources visible.
Thank you for that, Veer. Okay, so we have this science vessel crewed by Feathers of Cyan. We've got two of those who's 33 years old and has a reduced chance of anomalies failing, which is fantastic. So sometimes when you go into your research, you'll come up against an anomaly which has a failure risk, and he reduces that. So what I'm going to ask you to do, you can go and survey the system for me, starting with this world. So he's now going to go have a look, all of these worlds, all of these little incidents, so moons, the star, any asteroid belts that are there, and see what's on there for me. And you know what, I'm just going to start that running now. So he's going to go off in real time. Now been 10 days since the series started, and start researching Kratchow's nest. And here's me saying I could pronounce half of these. Okay, that's not happening. And while that's going on, let's go to Yavis Prime.
This is our homeworld and the capital of our empire. The planet summary screen, which we are currently looking at, provides an overview of the planet's important statistics.
Thank you, Veer. Yeah, here's the overview we have. It's a size 16 world, which is 16 slots. It has 2 food, and these are the base areas it has.
Here we see a visual representation of this planet's surface, divided into tiles. This tab is only visible on colonies and surveyed worlds that are habitable. Each pop occupies a single tile, which means that there can never be more pops on a planet than there are free tiles.
Thank you, Veer. So this obviously shows you everything, but also, rather like Galiciv, each of these slots I can build stuff on. So for example here, I could... Oh, it's already got a power plant. Here, I could
Some
build...
buildings may cause adjacency effects to other buildings in neighbouring tiles. Let us take this into consideration when constructing new facilities.
Got that. So here, as we've already got food, I could put down any of these without a problem. However, if I was to put down a science lab, we would lose the 1 food. So, but however, because I've already got a food here, if I was to put down a hydroponics farm, I get the 2 food from the building and the 1 from the tile. So different kinds of tiles give you different bonuses, and you can get everything to work nicely together. Now food is going to be useful, so I'm going to put down the hydroponics farm there. Now, mining. As we've got mining stuff here, let's get a mineral silo. No, that's not of use to me. Mining network, which will increase, give me an extra 2 minerals for this area, so I'll get better minerals. And I may as well do the same here. I've already done that, fine. Excellent, I like that. We've got a lot of minerals, but these are taking energy on each to look after. So what I'm going to want to do, well, I've already got this coming, so as you can see these guys are slightly greyed out. This is the population growing, and you can see the progress bar down here. That's going to be about 40 months before it's ready. However, to get ready, I'm going to build this up with a power plant to maximise this and to start giving me some real power going forward. Now there, now we've got this stuff, actually no, final thing to explain here. These areas with the hazard markings around them, they're called blockers. These are basically tiles I can't do anything with until I clear them. So, as I love science, I'm going to just clear the physics area. I'm going to clear the... Can't afford to clear the physics area, I need more minerals than I have. I'm going to stop spending money. However...
This is where we manage all ground forces on this planet. The upper portion of this view is divided into 3 sections. The top section represents the orbital space above the planet. The middle section is the atmosphere, and the bottom section is the surface.
Okay, so this is basically where we all kind of recruit people to defend our world. Other people to go out and attack. And Via, finally, could you explain the spaceports to us, please?
The spaceport tab is where we view orbiting fleets, build new ships, and upgrade the station itself. If a planet has no spaceport, we can order the construction of one if we have the necessary resources.
Fantastic. So what we can do here, we can, each of these slots we can add things to. At the moment it's a missile defense module, so anything that attacks will get attacked by our missiles. And if I had any other modules here, which I haven't researched, I could add them. I can also build ships of varying types. Now these are all auto-design, so I'm going to have to change these later. I actually love the look of the ship design on this, it is really cool. It's all practical stuff rather than design, which I have no artistic flair. So for me, that is dreadful. You know, the Galassive way of designing them is dreadful to me. I just love here's some slots to put things on, put them there. But we will be designing them to custom to how we want. And you can upgrade the spaceport to get more slots, to enable them to make bigger ships, all that sort of stuff. But we don't have the tech for it yet. So, let's get this game back running and wait for things to happen. Now, in fact, let's go to the space view. So this is the galaxy map. This is the big overview of everything. And we're right by the centre, actually. We've got a long way we can go. Now, this dotted line is how far we can explore. That is the range of our warp drive, so of our wormhole tech, which isn't very far, actually. Not too bad, but it's a lot closer than it's not got much within our circle of influence. And out here are other peoples, other races. I know nothing about them. We'll bump into them at some point. But from here you can do everything. So I have my fleet, 3 ships.
Are used to protect our emerging empire from threats, or to expand our glorious rule through force of arms, if we so wish.
Thank you, Beer. You can select any of the ships from here. So science, construction.
This is our construction ship, which is used to construct space stations. When an astronomical object, such as a planet, has been surveyed, we can order this ship to build a research station or a mining station to exploit any resources it may have.
Thank you, Beer. So you can select any of them from this map. Or anywhere, actually. If you've got this open, you can get them, including Yaris, which I love. Any of the worlds you can control, which you can actually control 5 directly. We will come to the point I'll have to explain how that works, but for now, let's just say you can have 5. And you can just quickly, no matter where you are, go and build it. See everything else that's going on with a quick interface, which is fantastic. As Paradox have done a great design on the overview here, which is unusual for a grand strategy, which is normally quite complicated. So what you can do from here is say, okay, first murder, which is our first fleet, which is here. You have 2 options. You can either say, you know what, move around the solar system for me, please. And obviously shift plans them as normal in any strategy game. fact, let's get normal speed, so you can see it's just moving around. And we've got it on stand our ground, so if someone attacks, we'll attack them, but we won't start anything. But we can assign a leader.
The Leaders tab lets us hire, dismiss, and assign idle governors, scientists, admirals, and generals.
Excellent, so I'm going to get a leader for these guys. Let's see, I can either have better evasion, sublight speed and high speed, better evasion and reducing emergency FTL damage, or better evasion. So all of them have good evasion. This guy has much lower, has the greatest evasion one, so plus 15% to our evasion. But I like this, they're just faster, so I'm going to recruit him. Cost us 50 influence. When I go to my fleet, I assign him, and there we go. This fleet, however big it gets, will have the bonuses for this guy. So the bigger the fleet, the better. We can also go to Yaris, where we have a governor. Governor Claws of Orange. It reduces construction time, blocker clear time, and gives 2 happiness. Now what we can also do with the ships, which I'm going to do now, go out to the big main map and say, I want you to go and look at one of the worlds in here, other realms. So I'm going to charge it up and get him to go over to Kongath, then Jondus, then Riador, just to see what's there. Then send my science fleet in afterwards. So, as you can see, he's charging up and going into the wormhole. Charging up at the moment. As you can see, the time it takes to do that is going up. And done. So he's now wormholed out. And he's instantly turned up over here. Well, almost instantly. He'll have a look at the world for me. And he sees there's 2 planets. And then he'll start cooling down and entering wormhole again. And move over to the other one. And actually I'm going to tell him once he's done, come back to Yaris. So, next thing we can do. Our science ship's been really busy going and sciencing, discovering everything. We have a construction fleet to make star bases. As Via said, we can do defensive bases or resource gathering, which does do no harm whatsoever to the world you're researching. I do research from, I didn't know that. At first, anyway, it took me a while to learn. So you select your construction ship and go, ooh, I can get 3 energy credits from this world. Right click on the world, build a mining station. The resources will go, and then he'll go over here and start building the mining station for us. In the meantime, our science vessel's still sciencing. Oh!
From time to time, our science ships will discover strange things while surveying worlds. These can be researched by scientists, but be certain their skills are up to the task.
Thank you for that, Via. So yeah, what will happen? Oh, you've gained a level, excellent. That increased research speed and helps with anomalies. And our system's fully surveyed, so let's just pause this. During the survey of our home system, we found something on Fushro that does not match our earlier observations made from our home world. So we can either ignore this, get a different scientist to do this, or just research it. This tells us the anomaly level, which I have no idea what that means, and tells us the risk of failure. Because you can do these and there's a chance something bad's going to happen. As you can see, these show up by this little symbol. And if you look, when you go to the galaxy map, you can see the same symbol. So as there's no risk, I'm just going to research it. Okay. And we'll just continue progress at this point. So everything's moving around, we're going to start building the energy credits. Now, one of the other cool things you can do, from the map, you can go, from the galaxy view, you can get your construction ship and go, you know what, see this area? Build me all the mining stations you can, or the research stations. Or anything else you might need to. Well, almost anything. The wormholes you have to do manually. Which is a shame. Oh, secret at the doorsteps. This is the result of the anomaly. And it's one of the cool things I've done with this is sort of storytelling that happens. So little stories happen throughout the game that sort of evolve depending on how you act. So, the anomaly we detected on Fushro unveiled something astonishing. The planet is surrounded by a trail undoubtedly produced by FTL engines. We are not able to trace its origins due to it being generated long ago. We should continue to investigate these sort of anomalies whenever we get the chance. It will most assuredly grant us new knowledge and technology. Well, this means we've been watched. But why? So sometimes with these will open up new research options or new missions. This is part of the storytelling for this game, which we can see in the situation log. Here, tell us about it.
The situation log displays a list of all currently available special projects and various other points of interest. New items will likely appear as we begin exploring the galaxy.
Thank you, Veer. Now it happens we've got nothing here, which is a shame. And I've just seen the time, and I'm afraid we actually have run out of time for today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed it. It's been a little explaining heavy at this point, as it's a new game. I'm just trying to get as much info out there as I can to you guys, and sort of fermenting in my own head by saying it out loud. So I do hope you've enjoyed it, and I do hope you'll join me for tomorrow night's episode, where we're going to continue to explore the universe and start getting my science ships out to look at the other worlds to see what's there. I say that is for tomorrow night. I do hope you'll join me for that, but until then, farewell.